All right, guys, I'm back here with another tool overview, but in this case, this here is a specialty tool. So what is this? This tool is what you call a brake bleeder stroke tool, part number BSE-150. I'm not even sure if they make these anymore. Looking at the you know, the graphical design of this box, how old this barcode is, how old this thing here is. This thing this could have been made in the 80s, maybe even the 90s. I'm not sure. But let's read around the box here for a second and see what we got. First of all, this thing is manufactured for NAPA, not a sponsor. Distribution centers by United Parts Division, McHenry, Illinois, printed in the USA. And it says here that United's rubber formula complies with SAE specifications, J1601-cups and J1604-boots. And anyway, you want for the safest brakes, use a complete NAPA United line. And what else we got here? Not much else. Interesting box. Now, why did I buy this tool? Okay, the reason I bought this tool is that, well, I bought this tool because I need to bleed my master cylinder. Now, I know I don't need this to bleed a master cylinder. In fact, I'm buying this as an alternative in case if one way I bleed it for some reason don't work for me, I'm gonna try it another way. Now, I will confess I've already tried to bleed the master cylinder from my Buick because I'm still having brake soft pedal problems. And you know, I went by the service data to bleed the brakes, and it didn't really work out because, again, I think that the service data, what it doesn't tell you to do is you have to actually bleed the master cylinder at the brake lines inside the car. So you probably only know that from experience. So I'm a DIYer, but I'm learning as I go along here. So anyway, let's go along. Let's open this up. We're going to see a demonstration of this tool, actually. Oh, man, look at this. So I bought this thing here from eBay, by the way. So if you're interested in one of these, just go check eBay. I think it's a surplus vendor that has these. Oh, man, they even got some of the very old paper to go with it, like the actual tool instruction. That's pretty interesting, actually. Didn't expect that. So we'll hold on to that. Let's set that off to the side very gingerly. Got a little bit of brown paper here. This might even be brand new, actually. Could be brand spanking new. Let's see. I don't know. It could be. I mean, the handle is pretty clean if you look at that. The handle doesn't show any signs, necessarily any real signs of wear. On the tip here, there is a little bit of rust, but that's more or less surface rust. This just could be, I mean, this could be brand new. I mean, just very old. But like looking at that handle, that looks really cool. So basically this would act as the push rod that comes out of your brake booster. So when you press in the master cylinder, you can bleed it, bench bleed it. Say if you want to pressure bench bleed it where you cover the hose up, or you can bench bleed it where you can take hoses and run from the inlet and outlet ports, or the two outlet ports, and run that hose back into a full reservoir and pump it until air comes out. I mean, the air, there's no more air in the lines. That's the method I did do with the two clear hoses. It did not work out for me because, in all honesty, I don't know if I had the patience for it, but I'm gonna try the method that I've seen on the internet through several different videos. Basically, you can put the reservoir back on the car and you can bleed it straight while you just put it back in the car. So you just got to take your time. Anyway, I'll put a video, I'll link a few videos down in the pinned comment on the methods that I'm going to try. So anyway, now if you look at this ball here, this is why they probably mainly made this so, because inside of it's sort of like a hub inside of the push rod. This I guess it's a push rod, push rod from the brake booster that pushes that in. So this cup will fit in there nicely and won't damage anything. It won't slip around out your hand. And this probably right here is some sort of stop on it. I wonder, can you move this thing around, being that you got some grooves here? But maybe there's grooves here are just more indications of how far you've gone in. So anyway, let's take and put this puppy into action. So I got my brake caliper right over here. So let me spread out some absorbent paper like a good guy, like a good DIYer would do. Let me bring this master cylinder over here. And we're going to do a quick demonstration. So basically, this is my master cylinder here. So basically, when this is on the car, in case you don't know the anatomy of how this works, is that the brake, just imagine the brake booster sitting right here. And it's a push rod in the brake booster that when you hit the brakes, it actually, obviously allows vacuum into the diaphragm of the brake booster, which then makes it easy to push this rod in to push your brakes. So how you would bleed it, just imagine if you had, just imagine this was sitting straight up, not laying down. You had this reservoir full of fluid, and you had two clear lines. Let me turn it this way so you can see this a little bit better. You had a clear line running from here going inside the fluid that's submerged in the fluid, and a clear line going from here so you can check the bubbles out. And then what you would do is then you would take the stroke tool here. Let's see. First of all, let me get my flashlight out. What I want to see is you can see down inside the hole here. Let's see here. So if you see down in there, there's a little kind of cup right down in there, and this ball is going to fit right into it. Set that right there. So again, I'm gonna just lay it this way since I'm right-handed so I can make it easy. And then you just kind of stroke, slowly in and out with your fluid in there like this. Okay. And that way you can bleed it. That's why it's called a stroke tool, because you're stroking this part. You're kind of pushing fluid through so you can push air out. But again, this is not the only way to bleed a car. You can actually bleed you put this back on your car, and then you can fill the reservoir in the car there, but you need to have a helper or something where you can depress the brakes, go inside, undo these right here, undo the nuts, let air out, tighten back up, go let the brake down, push the brake again, and do that 5 or 6 times till only fluid is coming out. And that's like the tried and true method of bleeding brakes. So anyway, that's a quick demonstration of the BSE-150, the NAPA United brake stroke tool. If you're interested, please check eBay out, because that's where I found it. I think it's a pretty good tool to have. Even if you don't really ever use it, I like to collect tools a little bit. I'm not super big on collecting tools necessarily, but this one here I think has a special place, and you just never know. You might get a chance to actually use it.